already stimulated.
Yeah, it's run?
Yes.
Top. Shalom uvracha. Today we'll talk about secret of Jewish nation, or maybe miracle of Jewish nation. You probably have heard that we quote light to other nations, and also Jews, they they say about themselves, consider that they are not just special nation, but they are like I don't know how to say Am Sgula, how to say chosen people. Oh, exactly. Thank you. We are chosen people, and also, so we want to understand how it's appear out the fact that we are chosen. In which way? What do we mean that we say that we are chosen? It's first question. And second question, what's the difference between Nazis, Germans, that they used to say that, oh, they are chosen race, that they are also special people, they are better than others. So to those two questions we try to answer today. We'll start from the fact that we are different from all people, from all nations in the world. We are not like others. We're different. But other nations, they're not different one from another. Why they're not different? Because all differences, it's not so bright, not so clear. If you compare with any others nations in the world, you'll see that there is no real deep difference. That just folklore different. In Mexico, they have sombrero, and then and the mustache go up, and in Ukraine they have some boots and high boots and the blue shirt and balalaika. It's not really, and their mustache go down. It's not really big difference. Any nations, all nations in the world, they are similar, except of Jews. We are different than others, not external difference, but real inner, very, very big difference. This difference expressed in five areas. First, we are the nation that have the most force of living, life. The living that Jews have, no other people in the world has, because there is one of the greatest historian. His name is Arnold Toynbee. He lives about 100 years ago. He died about 45 years ago. He was one of the first people that they create not just Historia, but Historiosophia. Means understanding of history. He has 10 volumes, 10 books of history. He searched investigate all different kind of countries, and he come to conclusion that any nation passed few stages. It's stage of beginning of nation, childhood of nation, mature nation, old nation, and dead nation. And the average age of all nations it about 1,500 years old. And Jews, Chinese, and India exist 3,500 years, more or less. We are the oldest nation in the world, with Chinese and the Indians. But the difference is that all nations, they go to their culmination, their sea, and then they just disappeared. For example, or they die. For example, Greeks, Babylonians, Romans, Egyptians, they disappeared, they died. And a lot of nations died. Iberian, Celts, Aztecs, Maya, there are a lot. They died. And they are old nations, like Spain, for example. 500 years ago, Spain, they were a super power. And today they are one of the weak country in Europe. Turkey, 500 years ago, they were an empire, Ottoman Empire. And today it's not so important country in the world, like others. But Jewish nation, it's something else. And I want to show you something that it's something very, very special. I don't know if I'll be ready to do that because I write with mistakes, but I'll try. Just a moment. And in a video they can see this.
I can.
Yeah. Okay. How you call Rome? Like this, you write?
Correct.
Like this?
No.
See?
Greece. C. It's with a Y, not with an I. The Babylonian with the Y.
Ah.
Here, Y.
Thank you. Just a moment.
And Egypt, Y.
Why?
Yes.
Thank you.
And without the E. Yeah.
Like this?
Yes.
Okay. And last, how is it? Paras, Iran.
Iran, yeah.
Persia. Yeah, Persia. Like this?
Yeah.
Persia. Okay. What's common between all those countries? What do you think?
They've fallen off.
Okay, yes, it's true. But what else?
They've all been bad for the Jews.
Yeah.
Yeah. In some when in their history they try to destroy Jewish nation. And all our festivals, they about that. Greeks is Hanukkah, Egyptians is Pesach, Persia is Purim. Just a moment. Purim. Rome is Tisha B'Av. Babylonian 9 Av. Spain 9 Av. Germany, it's also probably it, and this is Purim in the USSR. It's Purim. I'll explain you what we mean. Look, all those nations, Greeks tried to destroy us, and Rome and Babylon, they destroy our temple. Egypt tried to kill us, like in Pesach. USSR, Stalin tried to kill all Jews, and he just died in 1953 in Purim. He didn't able to do that, but he planned to destroy it, to kill all Jews. Germany, Spain, the exile of Jews in Spain, it was 9 of Av. And Persia is Purim, Spain. Think about all those superpower countries, all of them. So why they didn't succeed?
Hashem.
Yes, but I try to understand only in a rational way. You understand, when I talk about Jewish power of life, it's not something that, somehow there is some weird nation that nobody hear about, nobody want them, and they exist 3,500 years, twice than the average of people in the world. No, it's somebody that always try to not just those just they try to destroy about the pogrom and all kind of, and they exist. So they have special power of life, not like others, because all others, where all of them, where is Rome today, where is Greeks today? They disappeared. Today, people that they live today in Greece, they are not descendants of ancient alien Greeks. Like in Egypt, those Arabs that live in Egypt, they are not descendants of them. So what happened?
Because they are not spiritual. So
Because they are not.
They're not spiritual. They live material life and then disappear.
Not spiritual.
Yes, but I try to understand that rationally, without God's intervention. I'm talking about just try to understand only logically and material. Yeah, please.
Because we teach our story to the next generations, and if you look at groups in the world that have stayed, present, they're very good at knowing their own story, and so I think perhaps passing that down, like we're instructed to do, helps us survive.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And what do you say?
Yes, just like him. I think it works like a blueprint. Like if you destroy a house, you still have the blueprint. You can build it back like this. So we have our blueprint. It's in the books. So we can rebuild like this.
Yes, I understand. I'm just trying to show something else. I try to show that there is a very root difference, like a difference in between us and other nations. Because this blueprint you can say about any other people. They also have some books or some culture or some tradition, some stories. Why they disappeared? Where today those Iberians and Aztecs and the all Maya and all Celts and all those? Where they are? Why they? In the sense that it's not so like okay, the Jews live 3,500 years. No, it's something special. Just a moment. I'm afraid that we won't have enough time. I want to just to show you this topic. Another component of our chosenness is that we have a special Jewish talent that nobody else in the world have this kind of talent like Jews have. And when you see that, if you compare between Jews and the other nations, you'll see that Jews they contribute to philosophy, to science and literature and politics and economy and medicine and any field. Jews not just contribute so much, but they established a lot of those things in the world. Like Freud, he established psychology. Like Emil Durkheim, he established sociology. Like Ludwig Wittgenstein, he established new contemporary philosophy. Like who? Freud, I told you already. Yeah, Freud and or Levi Strauss. He established anthropology that exists today in the world. Einstein, he established new science that exists today. Mimi? Adorno. Yes, he was great philosopher, but he wasn't. He was just one of great philosophers in the world. He didn't establish. I'm talking about.
He established some kind of cultural studies.
Yes.
Frankfurt School.
Yes. He was one of those. Yes, you're right. You're right, but it's not something they can say philosophy or psychology. No, it's it's one of, and those one of, they are a lot. You know how many in Nobel Prize winners Jews? 23%.
No more.
Jews, they are less than 0.5% of population in the world, and they are 23%. There are just 960 more or less Nobel Prize winners, and Jews, they are 200 something from those numbers. How it can be? Why Jews? Why not other nation? You understand? It's like it's something that you cannot say that it's okay. They were scholars. They were there. When we talk about these kind of things, it's like a proportion. We should understand proportion. For example, China. They have today nine Nobel Prize. China, great China, with a lot of money and the learning and the academy and the universities. 9%, nine people. In Russia, they are in the top of all academic research. They have 30. And 10 of those 30, they are Jews.
I thought all of them were Jews.
No.
I know a lot of them.
And again, why? That second point. Maybe I'll write you those things here. I don't know how to define this thing. I will say maybe first it's life. No. How say life like this? Life power. Would you write like this? Life power? Would you say like this? No?
Lovav, life power.
Faith. נכון. Like this? Life power, it means that they exist 3,500 years, and all them try to kill them. Second is talent, Jewish talent.
With an E, talent.
Talent?
With a E.
E.
After the L, E. Talent.
Thank you very much. Third is its influence. Like this is influence. What does it mean, influence? Influence is not just talent. Influence, it's the ability to change the world. For example, if great philosopher or great artist or great theater director will disappear from this world, we won't feel that. He's important, very important. I cannot imagine I mean, it's very, very important, but I'm talking about influence on history. For example, Mozart. He didn't influence on history. Take Mozart out of history and nothing will change. Or Napoleon. He was great and genius commander and genius empire, but take out Napoleon from history and you won't feel nothing. Or Genghis Khan, Mongolian, he conquered all Europe. He came to Jerusalem. He was great, but he didn't influence. And worse that, if you can think about Robespierre or Danton, they changed the world. They brought French Revolution and they changed the world. I don't say that he's bigger, greater. I imagine myself that Napoleon was greater than Robespierre, but he didn't influence. There are people that they can influence, good influence or bad influence. Christopher Columbus, he without him you cannot imagine modern world. But when you think about influence on the world, you can see the Jews' influence on a lot of people. Let's say billion and half of Christians in the world, they go after Jesus. Or without Lavdil, Moshe Rabbeinu wouldn't be Islam. Billion and a half Muslims in the world, they live according to Moshe Rabbeinu. And those that are against of religion, they want to be only materialistic, only Marxistic, only one way. So what does it mean Marxistic? they want to be like Marx, Karl Marx, Jewish, another Jewish philosopher, another billiard and a half people, like all China and Russian Soviet bloc, what was 30 years ago, it was billiard and a half. Think about, they go all of them about just one Jew.
The whole world.
All world, and those that they are against of politics and they're against of religion, they want to be only to live according science. So in science they live according to Einstein and Niels Bohr, that both of them Jews. It's not just talent, they changed their life. You understand that, like Molière didn't change their life of people, but let's say those that they invent computers, the Jews, they changed their life, all history, all life today, built on all those that they find computers and Microsoft and they influence on billiards of people. And think about Lincoln. What's his name? Abraham. And he wasn't Jew. And what's the name of Newton?
Isaac.
Yitzhak. He wasn't Jew. What's the name of Stalin? Joseph. Yosef. And what's the name of Stalin's son? Yaakov.
Wow.
Think about why today in France most of the people they didn't call their child Johnny, and in England or in America nobody calls their child Pierre, or in Japan nobody calls their names of why Josephine? And all the world they call to their children in Jewish names. And it's not only because of Christianity, it's also in Islam. They also, the biggest terrorists, they call them their children Ibrahim, Suleiman, Yusuf, Daoud. It's Jewish names. David, Shlomo, Suleiman, Shlomo, Musa, it's Moshe, and all that. Why? You know, to call to your child in name of some other nation, and if it's very, very special nation, like Greeks, nobody called to their children Aristophanes or Socrates, Alexander, but Socrates, Anaximander, Heraclitus, Sophocles, Euripides, Aeschylus. Where are their names? Nobody. Why? And that at time, you know, they used to, people start to understand that, and they say it's something unbelievable. A prime minister of France, his name was Valls, Emmanuel Valls. A few years ago, 6 years ago, he says like this: if 100,000 of French people that they roots in Spain, they will leave, they will go out of France, we won't feel that. They were here, they went, okay, they will. And if 100,000 of Jews will leave France, France will be destroyed. France fell down.
He's falling down.
It's already started. Yeah. You understand what's kind of like a political not correct expression what he says, but that is true, and it's not only in France. It's all Europe, all the Britain. there is Theresa May. She says the same things, and after Boris Johnson he came, he says the same. Britain would not be Britain without the Jewish community, and we will stand with you and celebrate with you a Hanukkah and all year. He says that in 22 December 2019. And I have exactly quotes when he who says. It's also Franz Timmermans, that he is a deputy of of all Europe. There he said, Europe without Jews is not Europe. So all that is say something about it. It's not, you understand, it's not sombrero and mustache. It's something very, very deep things. It's not folklore or ethnics difference. It's very in root. Now, and fourth. Oh no, this is the fourth component of our that make us special. It's anti-Semitism. It's also very special event in human's life. There is no such a thing in all the world like anti-Semitism. You know, Germans killed in last 100 years, in First World War, and in the second they killed about 60 million people. It's not just 6 million Jews, but 60 million people in the world, 70 million. They killed 20 millions of Russians and in Europe, and 10 millions of Germans they were killed also, and 6 millions of Jews. And today there is no such a thing, anti-Germanism. Germany, it's one of the most popular country in the world. With tourists came and they appreciate, and Stalin and his friends from Georgia, they killed in Russia about also about 20, 30 millions of Russians. And there is no, in Russia, there is no anti-Gruzinism. There is no such a thing. So why Jews? What we did to them?
But Russia is the number one racist country in the world.
Yes,
It's
yes.
not made by the black, but it's the other people that say this.
Yeah, yeah. And still I ask, why Jews? And you know that there is no rational explanation to anti-Semitism. It's also defined us. And fifth thing, it's Israel, country. There is nothing look like Israel in the world that comes from people that came from concentration camps, and in very short period, during wars, no end wars, they established this kind of thing. It's miracle. Now, it makes us special, different with other chosen. But all those is just revelation of something much, much more deeper. And what is much more deeper? It's our prophecy. We are people of prophecy. Not each of us prophet, but the nation is nation of prophets. And those those our qualities is just revelation of our prophecy. And what is prophecy for? In order to influence to all the world, to help to other people. And that is difference between us and Germans, Nazis, fascists. That they used to say, because we are chosen race, I have a right to command on you, and you will be my slave because you are Slovenian, and I am German, I am Ari. I will kill you because you are Jew. I will destroy you because you are black. And I will do to you that and that because I am German. So what I can do, you as a Polish or Ukrainian, you cannot do that because I am superior, I am up than you. And we say exactly opposite. Because we are chosen, it means that to me it's forbidden what it's allowed, what you are allowed to do. You can drive in Shabbat and forbidden to me. You can eat milk and meat and it's forbidden to me. I'm not saying to you what to do because I am chosen. You can live your life. I will never touch you. I will never do to you. I'm not dream that you will serve me, that you will be my slave. God forbid. Opposite. I want to bring you goodness, and that's how Judaism start. You remember, Kadosh Baruch Hu said to Abraham, leave this your country, go to place that I'll show you, and you will bless all families in the world, all people in the world. That I with Baruch Bcha kol mishpachot Adama. You will bless all people. And we want to bring goodness to all people. And we say it in our prophets, and Rav Kook says, and our Rabbi says, we want to help to other people, we want to give them goodness. I don't have translation in English, but I have a lot of quotes about how Rav Kook says how we love and we should love other nations. And if you think that you don't care about other nations, that you are only loves Jews, you should know that you make great mistake, he says. I want to read you that, listen. Though that you don't understand, but you should know that וצרות העין הגורמת לראות בכל מה שמחוץ לגבולות ישראל רק כיעור וטומאה, היא אחת מהמחשכים היותר נוראים שגורמים הריסה כללית לכל בניין הטוב הרוחני שכל נפש העדינה מצפה לראות. And if someone think that he's interested only in Judaism and he doesn't care about others, this is darkness, Rav Kook says. This is kiur v'tumah. It's like all kind of bad words to someone. He thought that only we, like Germans thought. That the fact that we are chosen doesn't mean that we want something bad to you. We want good something to you. And not by force. We won't make you good by force. So, no, if you don't want, okay, go. But we want to influence, like we influence in other fields, like in Prize Nobel. You don't want to use computer, don't use computer. But we want to bring you this knowledge, this ability, to this light, to this faith in God, and that's what we want to bring you. Don't go. It's not like Christians and Muslims, they by force try to bring goodness to other people and to kill them because if they don't want to to convert the religion. No, we say no. And we have to stop already. But I cannot. I cannot finish without giving you these letters from Lev Tolstoy. Leo Tolstoy, you've heard about him? He's one of the greatest authors in all the times. And he write these kind of things. I'm not sure that I'll be able to read well what he says, but we have to read it. Let us see what kind of special creature this is, whom all rulers and people insulted and oppressed. Maybe there is some, please.
Let us see what kind of special creature this is, whom all rulers and all peoples insulted and oppressed, trampled underfoot and pursued, burned and drowned, and who, in spite of all this, is still alive and well. What is a Jew who has never been able to be seduced by any temptations in the world that his oppressors and persecutors offered him, if only he would renounce his religion and renounce the faith of his fathers? The Jew is a holy being who obtained eternal fire from heaven and enlightened the earth and those living on it. He is the spring and source from which other peoples have drawn their religions and beliefs. The Jew is the discoverer of freedom. Even in those primitive times, when the people were divided into two classes, masters and slaves, Moshe's teaching forbade keeping a person in slavery for more than 6 years. The Jew is a symbol of civil and religious tolerance. Love the stranger, Moses commanded, for you yourself were a stranger in the land of Egypt. These words were spoken in those distant, barbarian days, when it was customary among nations to enslave each other. In the matter of religious tolerance, the Jewish religion is not only far from recruiting adherents, but on the contrary, the Talmud prescribes that if a non-Jew wants to convert to the Jewish faith, then he must explain to him how difficult it is to be a Jew, and that the righteous of other religions will also inherit the kingdom of heaven. The Jew is a symbol of eternity. He whom neither slaughter nor torturer could destroy, neither the fire nor the sword of the Inquisition could wipe off the face of the earth. He who first proclaimed the words of the Lord, he who kept the prophecy for so long and passed it on to the rest of mankind. Such a people cannot disappear. The Jew is eternal. He is the personification of eternity.
Wow. Great, right? You are a professional writer? Wow. Come every lesson here. Okay, you understand? And it's very important to know who we are, because most of the Jews, they don't know that. And what I told you today now, I ask my students in religious, in yeshivas, in religious school, did you heard about that? They say no, they don't know all that. So you will tell them.